Some observers say that the North Koreans threatening to pull out of the summit with Donald Trump is far from surprising. Some say it's really just Kim Jong-un being Kim Jong-un.
Yeah, and Donald Trump is not the only one who could be a little unpredictable, right? Look, this is Kim Jong-un basically. We've been seeing the un-Kim Jong-un in recent weeks, right? We just heard in that report the Kim Jong-un that sent North Korean athletes to the Winter Olympics in South Korea, the Kim Jong-un that announced recently an end to all nuclear and long-range ballistic missile tests, the Kim Jong-un that freed all those North Korean, the American prisoners in North Korea, the Kim Jong-un who's letting all the foreign journalists in to watch them shut down the only known nuclear test site in the North. That is this soft, dovish Kim Jong-un. It's a Kim Jong-un that's been unrecognizable to most of the world. We're seeing now the real Kim Jong-un reemerging again. And this is the Kim Jong-un who, and this is where I have to insist, he's actually being very consistent. You know, we're portraying this and we're talking about this as a surprise, you know, an about face somehow. Not really. You know, Kim Jong-un has never given some blanket guarantee to Donald Trump or the international community, hey, we're throwing out all our nuclear weapons. I've stood on this set time and again saying that nuclear weapons are absolutely the core, the key. It's in the North Korean constitution to their very survival. And he has said that so long as North Korea feels threatened militarily in any way, shape, or form, he is not about to just throw it all away and denuclearize. He expects what he has said are phased, synchronized steps and phased steps by Washington, concessions, so to speak, in return. And he also wants security guarantees. And when he looks right now at those military exercises being conducted between the U.S. and South Korea, he does not see that as a security guarantee. In his view, some of the weaponry, some of the aircraft taking part in those exercises, even though apparently the B-52 bombers are not in those exercises, he sees it as basically a dress rehearsal for an invasion of the North. That has been the narrative all along. There is nothing, absolutely nothing inconsistent in Kim Jong-un's approach. I would say this is not actually really an about face by Kim Jong-un. It's Kim Jong-un really asserting himself again and showing that he's not this pushover. He's not just going to, you know, walk away from all his nuclear weapons without some concessions in return. And not just Donald Trump and the National Security Advisor, John Bolton, whom the North despises, spewing maximum pressure, not giving anything in return.
So if you're Donald Trump and his advisors, what's your next move?
Well, right now they're basically playing by the script, which is, you know, didn't see anything. Stay calm. Keep on walking. They're sort of acting as if this threat has not really happened. They are taking Kim Jong-un literally at his word from what they've heard before. You know, the latest announcements that, you know, he may pull out. And by the way, this is via the North Korean news agency. It's not Kim Jong-un himself saying this, although you can argue that the North Korean news agency is effectively Kim Jong-un talking. But they're basically planning on, you know, all speed ahead. Right now, they are, you know, full throttle. They are going ahead, planning the summit as if it is still going on as planned on June 12th in Singapore. And until they actually hear otherwise explicitly from Kim Jong-un, that is their operating procedure. And in a sense, that's also a tactic, because what they want to basically do is throw it right back at Kim Jong-un and say, late in the game right now, you've already given us your word. It seems like we already have had expectations that we're meeting. You already said, essentially in your meetings with the South Koreans, that the military drills are not a big deal. They will not be a showstopper for this meeting. You could also make the point, though, the military drills ongoing right now are actually separate military drills than the ones that were underway at the time that the North Korean and South Korean leaders met. So it's not quite clear which military drills he was referring to. But I'll tell you one thing. The White House right now, regardless of what they're saying publicly, is probably right now thinking, wow, this might be a tougher slog than even we thought. Donald Trump has reveled and relished his unpredictability and his tough man stance, always sort of reaping dividends. But in this case, it may be that he's met his match in Kim Jong-un and then some.
All right. Thank you very much indeed, Douglas.